When, where, and how?
The medieval period of Indian history stretches from the 8th century CE to the 18th century CE. These medieval years were a period of change for India. There was change in every sphere: political, social, cultural, and economic. Geographic conditions influenced the economic and social development of people. The history of India has been greatly affected by geography. India has been known by many names. Aryavart, Bharatvarsh, and Hindustan are a few of them. Historians collect information from different sources to reconstruct the past. Sources are of two kinds: archaeological and literary. Archaeological sources are ancient buildings, coins, paintings, inscriptions, and sculptures. These give us information about ancient times. Literary sources can be classified into indigenous and foreign. Literary works may be treated as a source of history to throw light on the administration, economy, and society of the time.
New kings and kingdoms in India.
Many small kingdoms emerged in India after the downfall of Harsha's empire and before the Turkish invasions. Several small dynasties belonging to the Rajputs gradually rose to power and established their supremacy. Some of these dynasties were the Pratiharas, the Palas, and the Rajputas. Mahmud of Ghazni invaded India in 1001 CE. He plundered the temple of Somnath. Muhammad of Ghor defeated Prithviraj Chauhan in the Second Battle of Trian. This opened the path for further invasions. The Cholas became the most powerful dynasty from the 9th century onwards. The Cholas were patrons of art and architecture. They built magnificent temples. Art and architecture reached its peak under the Chola rule. The Cholas set up a sound administrative system. It was a three-tiered system. The three levels were the central government, the provincial government, and the local government. Caste system was prevalent. Women enjoyed freedom. The Delhi Sultanate. In the second millennium, invaders from Central Asia invaded India and brought in new ideas and religion, which had an eternal impact on Indian culture. Qutbuddin Aibak became the Sultan of Delhi after a brief struggle for power and started the slave or Mamluk dynasty. Shamsuddin Iltutmish, who was a slave of Qutbuddin, became the next Sultan. He received the title of Sultan from the Khalifa of Baghdad. Razia, his daughter, succeeded him and was the first woman Sultan. She was competent, but the nobles conspired against her and she was deposed. After Razia, Balban became the Sultan. He was a shrewd statesman and ruled with an iron hand. The slave dynasty was followed by the Khilji dynasty. Jalaluddin and Alauddin became the next sultans. The Khilji dynasty was replaced by the Tughlaqs. Muhammad bin Tughlaq was an innovative administrator, but all his schemes failed. Firoz Shah brought back prosperity to the Sultanate. Firoz Shah was followed by weak successors and India was invaded by Taimur, the dreaded Mongol king. The sultans were autocrats and ruled the kingdom with an iron fist. The sultan had many officials to assist him. New styles of art and architecture were brought into India. Many mosques and tombs were built. The dome and the pointed arch were introduced. The Mughal Empire. The Mughal Empire was one of the largest empires in history. It left a permanent impact on Indian culture. The Mughal Empire was founded by Babur, who was a descendant of Taimur and Genghis Khan. Babur was succeeded by Humayun, who was an intellectual man but did not possess the qualities of a strong emperor. He was not a capable military commander, and these shortcomings led to his downfall. Humayun was defeated by Sher Shah Suri in the Battle of Kannauj. Sher Shah established the Afghan rule for a short period. After his death, Humayun regained power. Akbar ascended the throne after Humayun. He became the greatest emperor of the Mughal dynasty. He expanded the empire. He is well known for his tolerant religious policy and innovative administrative reforms. Jahangir became the emperor after Akbar's death. The empire continued to flourish during his reign. Shah Jahan was the fifth Mughal emperor. His reign was very peaceful and prosperous and is known as the golden age of Mughal rule. He was a patron of art and architecture and built many important buildings including the Taj Mahal. Aurangzeb ascended the throne and ruled the largest ever empire in Mughal history. His reign was marked by many wars and rebellions. He was a staunch Muslim and tried to spread Islam. He was intolerant towards other religions. The Mughal Empire declined after Aurangzeb. The invasions of Nadir Shah and Ahmad Shah Abdali further weakened the Mughal Empire.
Tribes, nomads and settled communities.
India has been the abode of various tribal groups since the commencement of history. For tribal people, customs and traditions are very important, and they have carried forward age-old colorful rituals and ceremonies. Different tribes have their own means of livelihood. Even in each tribe, they engage in different professions. Loss of habitat is affecting the tribal population. Many of them have had to leave their homes and look for other places to settle. Nomads are a group of people who travel from place to place for livelihood. They move according to seasonal changes. There are many pastoral nomadic tribes in India. Some of them are Jats, Gadis, Banjaras and the Gujars. The Gonds are a tribal community found in central India. They are the largest tribal group in India and one of the largest in the world. The Ahom was a medieval kingdom in the Brahmaputra valley. The state of Assam is believed to have derived its name from the Ahom dynasty. Under the Hindu kings of early medieval period, the caste system continued to exist. There were cordial relations between the castes and intercaste marriages took place. The Muslim rulers reduced the power of the Hindu priestly class, the Brahmins. The Hindu caste system was also shaken up by the Bhakti movement.
Devotional paths to the divine.
The medieval period witnessed major developments in the area of religion. The religious developments first began in South India. Bhakti was a popular folk movement which taught the path of love and devotion. It is the expression of love and adoration centered upon God. The followers of the Bhakti movement believed in one God who was to be worshipped with love and devotion. Also, this movement stressed on the equality of all castes. This movement also stressed on Hindu-Muslim unity. The saints preached in the language of the common people. Sikhism originated with Guru Nanak. According to him, God was unchanging, without form and eternity. There are no Hindus and Muslims, but one brotherhood of humanity. Kabir contributed immensely to the Bhakti movement and is considered as one of the pioneers of the movement. Islam began in Arabia and was revealed to humanity by Prophet Muhammad. The Muslims believe that there is only one God, who is Allah. Sufis were people of deep devotion who were not satisfied with the observances and rituals of religion. They wanted to renounce the luxuries of the world and devote themselves solely to obedience to God.
The making of regional cultures.
During the medieval period, there was a spurt in cultural activities. New features were introduced in music, dance, language, literature and painting. New trends were also visible in the field of literature and language. There was development of Persian, Sanskrit and regional languages. The regional languages were developed due to the patronage extended to them by local rulers. The Bhakti movement also contributed to the growth of regional languages and literature. The art of painting was popular and was practiced under the various dynasties during the Sultanate and Mughal periods. The Mughal school of painting developed during this time. With the advent of the medieval era, there were many changes in the field of dance. Bharatnatyam was a popular dance form and was performed in temples as a devotional dance. Kathak was originally a devotional dance, but it became less religious and more entertaining in content. The culture of West Bengal is considered to be one of the richest cultures in India. Its culture is famous due to its variety.
Political formations in 18th century India.
After Aurangzeb, the disintegration of great Mughal Empire began. There were a series of inconsequential kings, collectively referred to as the later Mughals. The decline of Mughal Empire was due to the combination of many reasons. The decline began during the last years of Aurangzeb's rule. The post-Mughal era saw the rise of small regional states. This was because the later Mughals were weak. Their succession states were Awadh, Bengal and Hyderabad. Mysore was one state which strongly resisted the expansion of colonial power and fought 4 wars against the British. Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan defeated the British in the First and the Second Mysore War. However, Tipu Sultan was defeated in the Third Anglo-Mysore War. The British again attacked in 1798, leading to the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War. The Maratha kingdom was founded and consolidated by Shivaji. It played a vital role in dwindling the Mughal domination in India. The Peshwas became the real rulers of Maratha Empire, while the successors of Shivaji were just nominal heads of state. The office of Peshwas became hereditary. Nana Sahib Peshwa opposed the British with whatever support he could muster. After him, the Peshwa's power came to an end.
Understanding the environment.
The surroundings in which an organism lives is its environment. Environment may refer to both living and non-living things that occur naturally on Earth. The human environment refers to built-up areas like buildings, transport, machines, etc. The 3 realms of the Earth, lithosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere, support life. Man alters the natural environment to suit his needs. Resources should be used judiciously and all measures should be taken to protect the environment.
Inside our Earth, rocks and minerals.
The crust is shaped by the internal movements and also worn down by weathering and erosion. The Earth has 3 layers. Core at the center of the Earth, mantle, a layer between the core and the crust, the thin outermost layer of the Earth. The molten magma within the asthenosphere, the upper mantle, produces convection currents that drags crustal plates, continents and ocean floors with them. The land surface is made up of rocks and minerals and also soil. Soil is mostly rock that has broken down into small particles. Rocks can be classified into 3 main types: igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic. Igneous rocks are formed from the molten magma that cools and solidifies within or outside the Earth's surface. Sedimentary rocks are formed when the layers of sediments are hardened and compacted together. Metamorphic rocks are the changed form of igneous or sedimentary rocks because of intense heat and pressure. Rock cycle is a continuous process whereby rocks change and rechange from one type to another. It also includes the destruction of one rock form and transformation into another. Our ever-changing Earth. Crustal plate movements give rise to changes on the Earth's surface as well as inside it. Exogenic forces are forces on the Earth's surface from outside. These forces lead to erosion and deposition of eroded materials to some other locations by agents of nature, such as wind, water, and ice. Endogenic forces are sudden movements in the Earth's crust causing earthquakes, landslides, volcanic eruptions, etc. Volcanism is the process by which molten material is forced out from the interior of the Earth through fractures, fissures and vents onto the Earth's surface, changing the landscape. There are 3 types of volcanoes: dormant or sleeping, extinct or dead, and active. Earthquakes occur due to the shifting of crustal plates when enormous pressure is built up under the Earth's crust. This causes shock waves or seismic waves to travel along the surface of the Earth. The focus or origin of earthquake is where the seismic waves originate. These waves are of 3 types: primary, secondary, and surface waves. The point on the Earth's surface directly above the focus is the epicenter. The magnitude of the earthquake is recorded on the Richter scale, while the intensity is the description of shaking and damages caused by it.
The atmosphere, a blanket of air.
The Earth is surrounded by a thin layer of air called the atmosphere. Without our atmosphere, there would be no life on Earth. The atmosphere is composed of several gases. 2 gases make up the bulk of Earth's atmosphere: nitrogen, 78%, and oxygen, 21%. Argon, carbon dioxide, and various trace gases make up the remainder. Water vapor, dust particles, smoke, salt, etc. are also present in atmosphere. Scientists divided the atmosphere into 5 layers: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. The temperature drops as we go up through the troposphere, but it rises as we move towards the next layer, the stratosphere. Thermosphere is hot while exosphere is very cold. As we move away from the Earth, the atmosphere gets thinner. The atmosphere is important for us as it helps us to sustain life on this planet. Weather and climate. Weather is the atmospheric condition over a particular area over a short period of time. Weather of a place depends upon the variables such as temperature, moisture, wind, sun, cloud, and atmospheric pressure. The average weather conditions of a place for a longer period of time is called climate. Meteorologists are responsible for recording and analyzing the weather. Winds are caused due to the uneven heating of Earth's surface. Hot air rises, yielding place to cooler air from the surrounding places. This causes wind to blow. Cyclones are strong winds spiraling inwards and upwards.
Hydrosphere.
More than 70% of Earth's surface is covered with water. The realm of water on or surrounding the Earth's surface is called the hydrosphere. The hydrosphere, along with the atmosphere and lithosphere, supports life. The never-ending movement of water starting from the water bodies and back again to them is known as water cycle or hydrological cycle. The major oceans are the Pacific, the Atlantic, and the Indian Ocean. The Arctic and the Antarctic Ocean are known as the lesser oceans. The winds drive the water from the great oceans and give them motion and circulation in the form of ocean currents, waves, and tides. Unlike fresh water, seawater is salty. Cold and warm ocean currents affect the climate of the place they flow past. When these currents meet, they cause fog and also create fishing grounds. Human environment, settlements, transport and communication. Settlements, transport and communication constitute the human environment. Settlements can be broadly classified into rural settlements, villages, urban settlements, towns and cities. Altogether, there are 5 types of settlement pattern. They are nucleated pattern, circular pattern, linear pattern, radial pattern, and scattered pattern. Urban settlements can be classified according to their function or size. They can be classified into towns, cities, megacities, and conurbations. Transportation of goods and people can be carried through land, air, or sea routes. Technological advancement has not only helped people create and use better means of transport, but also improved the transport structures such as roads, railways, tunnels, canals, bridges, and pipelines, which facilitated movement. The invention of modern telecommunication has helped speed up the messaging and fast dissemination of information. Modern transport and communication have made our world shrink up. Even though the physical distances are the same, the world has turned into a global village. Life in the tropical and subtropical regions. The study of the Amazon basin and the Ganga-Brahmaputra basin helps us to learn about the life in the tropical and subtropical regions of the world. The Amazon basin has a rainy, tropical climate with high humidity throughout the year. The Amazon equatorial rainforest is a biome with the most diverse vegetation and animal life. One can find over 300 species of trees per square kilometer. The Ganga-Brahmaputra basin lies roughly between 10 degrees north and 30 degrees north latitudes. That is in the subtropical region of the northern hemisphere, and it forms a major part of the northern plains. The Ganga and the Brahmaputra rivers join together and form the world's largest delta before draining into the Bay of Bengal. Many tributaries join both these two rivers, forming fertile floodplains that support a dense population living in many cities, towns and villages in Ganga-Brahmaputra basin. The higher regions of Ganga-Brahmaputra basin give way to a variety of vegetation and wildlife. Agriculture is the main occupation of people living in the Ganga-Brahmaputra basin. Paddy or rice is the main crop grown, followed by maize, wheat, millets and a variety of pulses, vegetables and fruits. Terrace farming is carried out in the hills, particularly in the northeast of India. Fishing is yet another important activity in the region of Ganga-Brahmaputra basin.
Life in the hot and cold deserts.
Ladakh is one of the cold deserts of the world. It is located in the state of Jammu and Kashmir in India. Only those areas of Ladakh are rich in flora and fauna where water is available. Apples, walnuts and apricots are the chief crop grown in Ladakh. Barley, wheat and mustard are also grown. Barley and wheat are the staple food of the people of Ladakh. The Sahara Desert is the largest hot desert that covers a large area in the northern part of Africa. Natural vegetation in the Sahara has adapted itself to the hot and dry conditions. Date, palms, figs, olives, apricots, along with maize, wheat, and vegetables are grown in regions where water is available in the form of an oasis. The discovery of oil, petroleum, and the introduction of tourism are fast changing the living conditions of the Bedouins and Tuaregs, as well as the landscape of Sahara Desert.
Democracy.
The different forms of government are oligarchy, dictatorship and democracy. The main elements of democracy are people's participation, protection of human rights, equality, rule of law, and separation of power. Democracy is of two types: direct democracy and representative democracy. In representative democracy, the focus may be on a strong president forming a presidential democracy or on a strong parliament forming a parliamentary democracy. India was a British colony till it gained freedom in 1947 and emerged as the world's largest democracy. Institutional representation of democracy. Universal adult franchise gives all adult citizens the right to vote without discrimination based on class, religion or gender. People express their choice of representatives exercising their right to vote in general and assembly elections. The election process is overseen by the Election Commission and comprises announcement of election dates, filing of nominations or withdrawals by candidates, votings, counting of votes and declaring the results. The party systems in democracies around the world include single party system, two-party system and multi-party system. India has a multi-party system comprising national parties and state parties. A coalition government comes into power when no one party can gain more than 30% of the seats in the parliament or assembly.
Role of the state government in health care.
Public health and sanitation are the responsibility of the state government. To improve public health, the government's plan include mass immunization, promoting preventive medicines, improving the health status of rural population, health education and nutrition programs, providing safe drinking water, application of sanitary measures, efforts to control communicable diseases, and monitoring environmental hazards. The healthcare facilities can be divided into two categories: public healthcare services and private healthcare facilities. The public healthcare services include primary healthcare centers, dispensaries and hospitals run by central and state governments, and charitable trusts, while private healthcare facilities include hospitals, clinic and nursing homes run by private doctors. In the recent times, India has successfully eradicated mass famines and controlled epidemics. A huge number in India still suffers from poor health due to malnutrition and poor sanitation.
Functioning of state government.
The state legislature consists of the Legislative Assembly and the Legislative Council. States that have their bicameral legislature have both the houses. Other which are unicameral have only the Legislative Assembly. The Legislative Assembly members are called MLAs and are directly elected by the people of the state. The Speaker or Deputy Speaker is their head who conducts a session. The members of the Legislative Council are known as MLCs and they are partially nominated and partially elected. The chairman is their leader. The governor of a state is the nominal head of the state while the real power lies with the chief minister. The chief minister is the leader of the party that has won the majority of the seats in the state elections. He forms his cabinet of ministers. The state ministers run their various government departments called ministries. Role of gender. Gender is a socially constructed definition of women and men. The society defines gender roles of males and females. The female stereotypic role is to marry and have children. The male stereotypic role is that of a financial provider. Gender roles are imposed on children through a variety of social influences in their surroundings, such as family, school, community, and public places. A woman faces gender inequality in the fields of education, care, and health right from the birth. Women's work is considered insignificant and taken for granted. The woman today is aware and fighting a battle against inequality. Understanding media. Radio, television, newspapers, magazines, and the internet that reaches and influences large number of people are called mass media. The mass media plays the role of bridging the gap between the people and the government in the democracy. The mass media helps to develop public opinion and uphold social causes. The media should uphold ethics and accountability. The Ministry of Information and Broadcasting keeps the balance between the government and the media.
Market around us.
A market is a place that brings together a buyer and a seller to exchange goods or services at a price. All markets involve transactions between buyers and sellers. A supply chain involves the movement of a product from producer or manufacturer to transporter to wholesaler or retailer to consumer. The main types of market are retail market, which is generally a consumer market, and a wholesale market, which is mostly an industrial market. Retail markets include weekly markets, neighborhood markets, supermarkets, and shopping malls. At wholesale markets, goods are bought from manufacturer and sold in large quantities to the retailers for resale. The seller is of two main types, wholesaler and retailer. People's choice to different types of market depends on factors like availability, convenience, quality, price, and credit.
A shirt in the market.
A supply chain is a network of people and activities involved in moving a product or service from supplier to consumer. Cotton farmers sell kapas at mandi at low profit. The wholesaler sells the same cotton in quintals and makes a good profit. Textile mill owners, traders and exporters buy the cotton from the wholesale dealers at the mandi. Textile mill owners employ spinners to spin the cotton into yarn. Traders buy yarn and give it to weavers to weave cloth. Traders sell the cotton cloth to knitwear manufacturers and exporters. Retailers buy knitwear garments and sell it in India and abroad at high prices. The farmers and workers are underpaid and taken advantage of by the money lenders and the sellers. There are many intermediaries between the farmers and the consumer, like local collector, commission agents, wholesalers, retailers, and processors.